Death and dementia. So I think I left off. We left mom and dad at the facility. That was a sucky feeling doing that. At the time, dad had been diagnosed with dementia. Mom had not been diagnosed with dementia yet. And like I said, I'll put Carrie Landrum's website again up on or I'll attach her website. If you have the ability, use a senior living referral agent or find one to help you out with the search, because she was great. And like I said, I didn't have to pay her. The facility ends up paying her. The place that we found, as I mentioned, didn't separate mom and dad, which was a big deal to us. And it's important to get them in early. Carrie had told us, a couple other friends had told us that too, especially since mom hadn't been diagnosed yet, because then they get to be familiar with not just the people that also live there, but the staff. And with mom and dad, walks were a big thing. They're able to get familiar with their surroundings. So now they can't go on walks without somebody there, because mom's been diagnosed as well. But if they do happen to get out, at least I guess hopefully they're a little bit familiar with the area. So getting them in early was really helpful. And then they, like I said, able to make friends while they still have more of their senses about them, and things like that. So because they were in assisted living and not memory care, dad had to have an ankle monitor, which I know sucks and it sounds horrible, but because he had a dementia diagnosis, they had to make sure that staff was alerted if he tried to walk out of the building. And there they can't, hold him down, prevent him from going anywhere. But what they do is they try to distract him, and they'll call us, or at the time they called mom before she went downhill further. And so it would just beep when they went through, and he didn't like it. We felt kind of bad doing it, but it's necessary. And we just told him it was for medical reasons, because he had some heart conditions and things like that, because we really don't mention dementia to mom and dad. That's our choice. If you guys choose to do something different, then that's up to you. But it's not going to do them any good knowing they have dementia. It's just going to kind of, in my opinion, it's going to kind of fuck up the last good days that they have, knowing that, and it's causing the stress and knowing what they saw grandma go through. And so dad the ankle monitor, but mom could still take him out for walks, and they sometimes 2-3 walks a day, staying in pretty good shape doing that. So that was a benefit of getting them in a bit early before they were both diagnosed. As you go there, I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, mom and dad didn't know what to expect, but I was kind of picturing it, walking into this facility and everyone's kind of clicked up in their like West Side Story, and you got a bunch of old people, doing this stuff, and it wasn't really necessarily slow. So there are groups that are formed, and everybody has, like anywhere else you go, I mean, you get some people that are kind of dicks, you get some people that are absolutely outstanding and fun, and then you have a lot of people with dementia, and you just really don't know what their behavior is going to be, if they're going to be getting upset for no reason, and it's not their fault. It's it's kind of it's the condition that they have, and that's what the facility's for. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of that too. And having mom and dad in there a little bit earlier kind of helped them navigate that as well. And for my brother and I, it was one of the things that we had to navigate too, because it's almost like the first time you send your kids off to school. You're trying to prevent all this nonsense from happening to them, but at the same, you're just going to have to let them go, and hopefully they figure shit out. And the staff there is outstanding where they are, and so that ended up working out. It was a process. When you first start this, even with a really good facility like we have, you have to, because my brother and I are the ones with power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, and all that stuff. So at the beginning, you're the only one with permission to do anything. And the idea is to try to take some of the heat off of you. So they're trying to communicate with all the different doctors, with the pharmacy, with all the different staff members. And we also still have a family friend that helps mom and dad out, takes them to appointments. and things like that. And our friend doesn't have legal healthcare power of attorney. She doesn't have. She's not on the list for release of protected healthcare information. But we were allowed to talk to the doctors, talk to the staff at the facility that mom and dad are, and say, hey, you can give our friend any information, because she's the one that gives it to us and goes to all the appointments with them, takes notes and things like that. She's freaking outstanding. And so getting all those little things in place takes months and months to do. And after a couple of years, it never really goes away because there's always something else that pops up. But it gets easier as it goes on, because now the facility knows what to expect from me. I know what to expect from the facility. And depending on who, the insurance is paying, but it's still a lot of money. And for me, it's my parents. I absolutely love and adore and respect them. So if something's not done right, the facility knows they're going to hear from me about it. And yeah, I might be a dick sometimes. There's been a couple times where things were just done so shitty that I was a bit of an ass. So, but now I know they're really quick to correct those things. They're really on top of any of the problems and the issues that come up. Even some of them, they didn't deny. They said, this happened and it shouldn't have, and we're sorry, and then we move on from there. And then, but they also got to know my brother and I in a different. And my brother's not kind of the ass that I am sometimes, but he's a bit nicer. But they also know too that when mom and dad will say something like, "Hey, the staff, they did this for us today, and it was really nice," we'll pick up the phone and send the whole staff pizza or donuts or something like that too. So there's a lot of give and take and trying to figure out how everybody works together. And so it's a slow, long process, but it does slowly get better. So working on the coordination with the facility when little things pop up, like I said, is a process. And then you get new employees coming in, so it's a continual process. But things that we started noticing right off, like mom would have trouble with basic things, even though she wasn't diagnosed. She didn't know how to plug her cell phone in to charge it anymore. Thankfully, they don't have any kitchen equipment in their apartment. The meals are all provided for in a cafeteria. But she does have a microwave, which I don't really think she's too good at using anymore. Her cell phone, she's able to make calls on because it's a single button, but you still can't convince her to keep it on to accept calls. Then we noticed like the house phone, mom, dad, it had been a long time since dad understood how to dial a telephone. Mom slowly, and well, not too slowly, I guess, but it didn't take too long where she wasn't able to actually dial a normal house phone. And we had to make some kind of constant changes to try to keep up with the issues that are coming up. In the TV, I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth in another video. But some of the issues and some of the things to look out for that I wish I would have known ahead of time is I'll get a call with an issue, whatever the issue is. This is a big problem for me. And if it's a problem for mom or dad, it's a problem for me because I want them to be comfortable and happy and all that. And so I'll go off and try to solve this thing. And sometimes it takes 2-3 days and doing research and all that stuff. But in that condition, understand, by the time I come up with a solution, she doesn't remember the problem for the most part. And so you're kind of pissing up a rope doing some of these things. So once again, take it easy on yourself. And some of these issues that might seem like a big deal might just work themselves out. I mentioned before that mom and dad, thankfully, got long-term insurance when they were in their 40s. So like I said, that's paying now. And that's outstanding. It's great, but that money's eventually going to run out if they live, another probably four years or so. And I haven't sat down to do the math. So that's where we end up investing the money from selling their house, and because we know that we're going to need that money as soon as the insurance money runs out, because the place is freaking expensive. All these places are hugely expensive. And thankfully, mom and dad had made some investments before in their life, and they had a relationship with people at Oppenheimer. And I don't know, when it comes to me doing investments and buying stocks, I can turn $1,000 into $100 overnight, and I'm really good at that. That's not what we wanted for their money. We actually wanted someone that knew what they were doing and was good at their job. And I started to get to know the people that mom and dad had dealt with at Oppenheimer, and said they're out of the San Francisco office, Dave Carey and Rhonda Richardson. I can't say enough good things about them. We have at least annual meetings with Dave Carey. Rhonda and I text back and forth, and they're out freaking standing. I trust them 100% in managing this money that I know in a few years I'm probably going to have access to pay for the facility that mom and dad are living in. And one of the things that one of the life insurances that dad got is an annuity, and I know enough to make myself dangerous at this shit, because I'm not very good with all those different things. They're money people. That's what they do. And so there's one annuity thing, you have to take a certain amount out a year and whatever. They deal with all that, and they manage all that for us. And then I just get the tax stuff at the end of the year to deal with. And one of the things too, which I'm not going to try to explain because I don't know, there's short-term, long-term investments. And with Rhonda and Dave, what really works out for us is if there's an unexpected expense that comes up, and I keep a little bit of money in mom and dad's bank account, but not too much, because there's really not much interest being made there. So, for instance, mom needed hearing aids. She hadn't had them before, so this is a whole brand new process. It was like $7,500 out of pocket after the insurance paid what they were going to pay. And so I don't have $7,500 laying around here, unfortunately. And so the way it works with Rhonda, it's nice. I could send her a text or give her a phone call and say, here's what I need. Can you, put this much money in the account? And usually it's in there within 3 or 4 days. So having good investment people is a huge deal to us, because we know we're going to be depending on the money from selling their house in probably a few years. So a lot of these things, products and things that I've talked about throughout all these videos, I finally ended up getting an Amazon Associates account. And so if you look at the links, I'll put Carrie Landers' link on there as well again. But I'm putting in links to things that we've purchased to help out mom and dad. They like remote controls and things like that. And also things that we've looked into that look like they would be helpful to somebody who's in this situation. So if you go to the links, follow that to the Amazon Associates account, you can purchase things on there if you think they would help you throughout your situation. Thanks for watching again, and until the next one, God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.